What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Wednesday, January the 15th. Monster shout out to the founder of Wrestling Republic, Ben Allison, and of course, our good friend Melissa. Happy anniversary. We're stoked for you. No doubt about it. Happy early birthday to my dad as well. He turns a little bit older next tomorrow. And I've also got some really good friends hanging out with me today to break down everything in wrestling news, as well as some AEW Dynamite preview action, which I'm stoked about. First and foremost, it is not a Tuesday. It's actually a Wednesday. So don't mess it up and get your W's up, get your twos up. I'm going to send it out to the DMV. Shoddy, how have you been?
Cough, cough, cough. Hachu. Sorry, bro. I think it's Wednesday because I'm feeling like a sicko. Get it? Because I was coughing and sneezing. But I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy anniversary to Mr. Allison and Melissa. That is awesome. You know, gotta love. Crazy. My first year of marriage anniversary is next month. That went by pretty quickly. But me and the missus have been together for like over 6 years now. So, you know, it's just another day in the office. But let's get into it, bro. It's Dynamite talk, all of that.
Absolutely. By the way, monster shout out and happy early anniversary to you as well, Shoddy. But this isn't an anniversary, but it's a return, and it's an early return, and I've got to make a big deal of it, because if you're not making it a big deal of it, there's something wrong with you, and I'm stoked about it. This dude, surgery, appendix removed, the whole nine. Can't even get the suit on, but guess what he does? He suits up anyway, puts on a t-shirt just to be here. It's the host of the Soul Sessions in his early return. Injury won't keep this man down. How are you today, Soul? All things considered, good to have you back.
Good to be back, lads. For people who not be aware, I had on Sunday and it turned out to be appendicitis. I'm on the mend, still very sore after the procedure, but I'm still here. I just want to take the quick time here.
Oh no. Did it freeze?
Here to say, well, and many wrestlers that have been on it, they sent me lovely messages, and I appreciate everyone there, including the team at Bleeding Gums who checked on me, make sure I was okay. So yeah, it's good to be back. I will be taking it a bit slow. I just wanted to do the daily just to see how I am. I can't wear my suit because it's too sore. So yeah, things are going to be a bit on the delay side on my own show with the Soul Sessions, but I'm going to be popping in and out the daily if I can, just with how I'm feeling. But it's truly great to be back, and you know I got to keep these guys in check, of course.
I'll tell you what, Soul.
He's a real sicko.
You rock a t-shirt and stitches better than John Moxley in 2025. That's all I'm saying. Don't even worry about the suit.
Jeez.
Don't make me laugh. It hurts.
I'm sorry, that one's on me, but let's get into it. Maybe not so much of a laughing matter out of the gates for our first topic here. We've got Corey Graves. And as you can see over there on the fine graphic delivered by our friend Ben Allison, it's a situation. And we're not talking Jersey Shore here. Mike, the situation. This is a situation. Corey, you don't usually see things like this vetted in the public. This was vetted in the public. I was under the impression that it could potentially be an angle. There was a time in professional wrestling where you would see things like this, and they were very calculated. This is not that time. It's 2025.
You and me were waiting for him to pop up last night.
I was waiting for him to show up, and it's all a big ruse. This seems to be a bit more serious than I realized.
We thought the boots that were Bailey made feel like he's Corey Graves got a new outfit.
Right? I mean, he was booked for last night's show at one stage of the afternoon, evening, morning, depending on where you were when you saw it, and then he wasn't. And
you
happened
lads
in the middle.
You lads fully expected him to pull an Enzo at Survivor Series, didn't you? In the crowd, just standing up, like I'm here.
I didn't even think that. I thought he'd come out and like maybe cut a promo. I'm not going to do commentary. I thought we were going to see an angle, and it's starting to feel like this is not an angle. It's starting to feel like Corey Graves feels slighted, and probably deservedly so in a lot of ways. I get that. The guy has put in an incredible amount of work, and if you read the initial tweet, like he said, the man was told he can no longer wrestle, not asked. It wasn't a suggestion. This was something he was told. You can't wrestle anymore. So he moved to something close, and he poured his heart and soul into it for a long time. So the frustration is understandable. I did not expect this in 2025, especially January. It just seems so early to play out in the public eye. That has blown me away. Shad, I'm going to start with you though. What do we do here? And better yet, what are we doing here? How do we figure this out? Because Corey Graves is a hell of a talent, for lack of a better way to put it.
First and foremost, man, I'm sorry. I don't like to do stuff like this, but I had to do this. Brother, is that a diss? Is that an insult to him? You know how going home to Carmella, is that like an insult to him?
Yeah.
Get out your chest. Anyways, Corey Graves yesterday put out those series of tweets, and I spoke about it briefly yesterday on the Daily with Jordy, and I kind of, give a little bit more insight of it because this wasn't the whole topic. I think he is rightful for all frustrations noted in there. The first thing that you touched on was the fact that he was told he can't wrestle again, even though he in some ways is medically cleared to wrestle. Let's not act like the WWE doctors and medical team is the end all be all of all medical teams. We've seen people like Adam Copeland been out of wrestling for a while, but eventually coming back. Danielson, Saraya, all these people that were told they can't wrestle anymore due to the WWE medical team or whatever, reason that they may have due to people having, I don't know, a liability, whatever it may be. He was told he can't do that, right? Cool, fine. He's a good sport. He still loves the company and the profession. He gave a lot of his passion and a lot of his time into the WWE and is a remarkable commentator. And for them to kind of just shuffle him like he's a third wheel just because you got people that are marquee names from the sports world, like a Joe Tessitore, like a Pat McAfee, but he's the short end of the stick. He's the ugly, stepchild or whatnot. Bro, that's some BS. And it is BS because a lot of the reports I did read from the dirt sheets, people saying backstage is that WWE have been like, yo, he's a good hand to rely on. He's a good sport about stuff. Y'all can't take kindness for weakness all the time, man. Yeah. There's only a time and place where someone is going to be like, all right, this is utter BS. I can't handle this no more. And for a person to say that he's not rightfully allowed to feel frustrated about how he's doing in a profession at a job, think about yourself in a sense. Have y'all ever felt frustrated and not appreciated at a workplace before? This is the same thing. Just because we're not in the WWE doesn't mean we can't relate to the situation. So yeah, he's definitely allowed to feel however he's feeling, and he's allowed to express it however the heck he wants to express it.
I could not agree more. And I think what's so interesting about it, Shadi, you made a great point there about like being upset at the workplace, right? Most workplaces are not in the public eye, right? And so this is different. We were watching it play out live. But the great thing about pro wrestling is they have also an avenue to tell this story in a different way. And we have some awesome comments here that I did want to get into. The real Wyatt out of the gates here with Corey Graves versus Pat McAfee at WrestleMania. If that's what this leads to, guess who wins? The WWE and all of us. And I will be fired up and I'll be the first to admit it. Because I said the same thing myself. I'm like, why is this not an angle? And if Christian can wrestle after being retired via medical issues, Brian Danielson can wrestle after being retired due to medical issues. Edge can wrestle after being retired due to medical issues. It is not out of the realm of possibility that Corey Graves could do something. That would be incredible. I'm with that. I'm going to skip that one, Sean, although it is a monster shout out. You crack me up. Real Wyatt also added preach Shad, of course. Yeah, I'm with that. This one's interesting too. Derek Mitchell said people forget how Corey told Sasha and Naomi that they acted unprofessional when they walked out of WWE in 22. Yes, it was a fed line, but he did do that. And interestingly enough, the tables have sort of turned in this story. That is another factor to consider here, right? A little pot calling the kettle black there. No knock on Corey Graves, because I do understand the frustration and I understand where it's coming from, especially if it is fully legitimate. And we're not still entirely positive it's not an angle, but we're obviously not going to put all our eggs in it's an angle basket, right? Like
Mhm.
it's a muddy situation, to say the very least.
Yeah. Whether it's a work or not, I mean, I'm not when I'm speaking for what I'm speaking solely on what he's tweeted
Right.
and what seems like it may not be a work. Now, can stuff get resolved? Yes, stuff can get resolved. Can you make a story out of it? Yes. Does that make people who feel the same way about what he said wrong or dumb in the situation? No, that just means the situation got hashed and they fixed it and diverted it a different way. Like, that's the other thing too. Y'all like,
So true.
I hear what a lot of people saying. Oh, Michael Cole got treated the same way. That ain't so. They've had an angle where Michael Cole got
because they
abused
did.
by Heidenreich.
Michael
think that's
Cole's
a good
1-0
thing?
at Mania. By the way, off of that, to your point, and Michael Cole's not a great example. That doesn't mean it's acceptable the way he was treated, or the way Pettingale was treated, or anybody was treated backstage during that time, right? To use that as an
Yeah.
example, I think it is goofy anyway. But before I
But-
toss this to you, Sol, really
Go ahead.
quickly, I've got an interesting one here that I want to kind of bring up related to this situation, because there's a lot of comments and I can't quite get to them all because we got to figure this out timing wise. But at the same time, one name that hasn't been mentioned is Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton was main roster commentary for quite some time. And not only that, did a lot of excellent work in the booth during the pandemic, which is not easy. This is a little different with Corey. And I'm just wondering, work or not, what the direction from here is for Corey Graves, because it's got to be something, whether this was a work or a shoot or whatever it is, whatever just happened with Corey Graves. This is something that needs to be solved by not only the WWE, but TKO, Triple H, name all the big names. That's their job at the top here. And you have somebody as talented as Corey Graves, it'd be a dang shame to waste them. So this is on them to figure that out, not on Corey as much. Because Corey's now expressed it publicly, whether it's kayfabe or not. And I'm just curious where we go from here. Sol, do you have any thoughts on that? And just in general, the Corey Graves situation? Oh, you're on mute.
I was trying to hide my pain.
He's
there.
back.
I want everybody to imagine this, right? You work at a place for 10 years plus, right? It's not the job you wanted, but it's the job you were given because of circumstances out of your control. And you're pretty damn good at it. You do the job well. You're liked by your colleagues. The fans even like you as well. There's no real complaints about you online. But you are then thrown around because somebody who's not there all the time, who's just a popular name, has a bigger platform, gets put into the role that you were doing, and it's the only reason that has happened is because they are popular intellectual property in name status. You're then chucked around to other brands, or then you're chucked to a place that seems as a demotion. Now, a lot of people like to give NXT a lot of raves and all that, but people internally, I imagine, see it as a demotion, whether it's the commentary and the talent, because it's not the Raw or SmackDown, it's not the main places, it's with a lot of inexperienced talent or a lot of up-and-coming talent. You're not going to see, like, main roster talent there weekly on weekly basis, maybe for a one shot or a one-term program. So imagine this for Corey Graves, right? You're just basically told, hey, Pat McAfee's coming back, we want him on there because he's a popular celebrity. On SmackDown, we don't really see anything for you there because we got Wade and this other guy. We're going to stick you on a three-man booth that wasn't a three-man booth before with Booker and the other guy. Sorry, I don't watch NXT that much, and it feels awkward. Like he's been chucked around, and I find it really fascinating that nobody really complained about Corey Graves' commentary or his work ethic until he voiced, his disapproval. It really seems like, honestly, no matter with what wrestling company, whether it's AEW, TNA, or WWE, as soon as you say I'm unhappy, you're then treated as a turncoat or somebody that's against the whole idea of the company. Your work isn't your allegiance. your allegiance should be to yourself and your family. At the end of the day, a place like WWE is a place for people to put food on the table, no matter in what job position that they do. Um, I think for anything, like the people now acting like, oh, Corey Graves is now the devil. He's now the spine turner. He's just turning this whole story and all that and all this rhetoric because he's anti WWE now. It's quite pathetic by a lot of internet people online. I don't know really why they have that rhetoric. I think if anything, at the end of the day, if this is a work shoot, cool, whatever. But like at the end of the day, what does that really benefit? Does a match with Corey Graves and Pat McAfee really seem interesting for people on WrestleMania? Me personally, no, because here's the thing, right? One, Corey Graves hasn't wrestled in what 10+ years. Pat McAfee has had one WrestleMania match and a pretty good series of NXT matches with Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era back in the day. But at the end of the day, one is a retired wrestler and one's a former football star turned celebrity podcaster. Like, if Pat McAfee and Corey Graves happens on WrestleMania 41, this is just Michael Cole versus Jerry the King Lawler 2.0.
See, I don't think it is. I think, okay, so I will defend this really quickly because I agree with everything you said except for the part about if this match happens. Pat has really put in the work to do what he's got to do in ring, and the guy is a professional athlete. I hear where you're coming from on he came from football. He doesn't have the acumen, the resume, and all of that. If there's a story to be told for Corey's return, given the fact that he's been gone for 10 years, it's a story about him being so upset about what happened with this other commentator that he's now gotten himself in a position to go to doctors to get cleared. And you can really, really do this before April. And if done properly, I'm all over it. But we got to strike now. And if that's not the case, the mess that we are left with, given both of you guys' earlier points, though, the mess that we are left with, if that isn't the case, is really ugly.
The thing is, though, like, at the end of the day, is WrestleMania, which is a big spectacle within the company and a big celebration, which has limited spots as it is, and with WWE having as many championships as they does, do they really want to take away a spot from a mid-card championship or a tag team championship to give to Corey Graves and Pat McAfee? Like, yeah, the story might be. Here's the thing: the story might be. Yeah, but no, look, no offense, like obviously I'm an international guy. Pat McAfee does nothing for me. I don't know his history. I don't know his career.
That's where I agree with you is the Pat part. The Corey part, because of the 10 years away that we kind of previously discussed, that's where I'm like, he kind of does deserve it. The work that he's put in, Corey deserves the spot. And if the biggest moment you can give him is 10 minutes with two big spots against McAfee, I'm cool with that.
But the thing is, though, doesn't people who have been working on the shows and doing the Holy Tours actually wrestling deserve it more? Like Karrion Kross, I think Corey Graves is probably a great guy. He seems really likable. He seems to be a great person, but no offense, just coming back from 10+ years of injury, from what his status was as a previous NXT wrestler, with
wrestling someone who doesn't wrestle, that match is going to
suck. ROH guy.
It's not going to be something people want,
and it's for Corey. It's a little like it's different, but it's a little similar.
I'll say this. Here's the thing. I'll say this, Clark. In my point, I was off for surgery and all that, and I've done the WWE for a long time. I wouldn't expect to come back and immediately be like a host or topics and all that. Like,
it's very true.
Just because you have given your all and you're making this comeback doesn't mean you deserve it. Like,
I'm also looking at it like a pre-show match too, by the way. So I will, to be clear, I don't think it's like a take up a bunch of time on the card deal.
But like WWE haven't done pre-show for Manias for maybe an Andre Battle Royale. But like at the end of the day, I think wrestling fans also have a problem is that any discourse or unappealment is immediately a worker shoot. I think wrestling fans have too much of an immediate whiplash effect to think something's a shoot or a work. Like the fact that somebody can't just be unhappy with their job and people are immediately as a worker shoot, building to a match or building to a segment.
I'm in agreement on. But I do think at some point the companies themselves
can this sustain being a hot angle till Mania?
I think it's possible.
Can it?
I don't know. And also, my argument for everything is the people in the comments that are telling him to to try to say how he should feel about a situation. Who the hell are y'all to tell how that man should he feel?
Yeah.
Like y'all need to just cut that out. And yes, if he gets to go home to Carmella after this, bro, that is an absolute dub. And 9 out of 10 men would say the same thing. Sean
Okay,
Ellis,
let's
stop being a
do.
damn hater, bro.
Let's move along to AEW because we did spend quite a bit of time on that topic, and we got to keep it rolling here. But I do think lesson learned: jobs suck, guys. Remember that. Everyone write that down. Jobs suck. But okay, here's a fun question, and I'm gonna toss it straight to you, Shadi. Is AEW the best in-ring roster on this planet currently?
Go,
Yeah.
Shad, go.
So this statement was said by the man who is the AEW champion, and that is John Moxley. And you know what's kind of funny? I brought this topic up against some of my peers, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. Yes, they are the best active in-ring roster in professional wrestling in the current juncture of time because you are a land where you have so many styles, so many different people from different promotions previously, and just it's where the best wrestle. That's the mantra. That's the avenue that they go with. You tell me you got a promotion with a guy like Will Ospreay, Pac, Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, Bryan Danielson. Obviously, he's retired, but you still have him, Kenny Omega. Like they have so many high quality in ring wrestlers, and that's what AEW is all about. That is what the alternative has always been. And those who will try to disagree or say, absolutely not, it's WWE. How much wrestling do you really see on WWE on a weekly basis, right? And how much of that weekly wrestling is high quality wrestling? When I watch an AEW Dynamite, I know I'm going to get a high level match at least every episode, if not one, if not more than one. Like they cater to that, and that's not a problem. Better in ring doesn't mean it's a better wrestling promotion, people. But WWE is the avenue where it is about storylines, sports entertainment, all of that. With AEW, their focus is, I want to see Ricochet go against Dante Martin for 12 minutes on an opening match, and they're gonna absolutely blow the roof off, like just stuff like that from the lower card all the way to the top.
I think you're spot on there. And I think if we're talking about pure in-ring wrestling, yes. I think talent-wise, they're about equal. You know what it reminds me of is? I think the WWE right this second is the Showtime Lakers. And it's great. You got Magic Johnson, you got all the big names, you got Jerry Buss at the helm and all the glitz and the glamour. And AEW is the bad boys Pistons.
Yep,
They're the bad boys Pistons. Yeah. And it's if you want to go see high quality lock you down, serious physical competition, you're going to go watch AEW because you're going to get 25 to 30-minute matches. You're going to get longer time in the ring. I think the talent level is about equal. Just like it was with the Pistons and the Lakers. The style is different.
I think on the men's side, it's better.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, for me personally, like my favorite TV match, I think of all of 2024 was the MJF Ospreay 1 hour match on 200th episode of Dynamite.
Totally with you.
Stellar. Like even for the women's side as well. Like when's the last time in WWE you've seen like a street fight like Willow and Stat had it all out? That was like brutality, but amazing as well. And that's something that AEW does very well. Indeed, and I also think AEW do very well their match type gimmicks, like the Casino Gauntlet match that we're going to talk about at the end of the show. All the contendership matches that they've done. Like AEW technically really don't do like, a match type and then it's just basically no DQ, like the tribal combat or all these other malarkeys. Some people are not going to like that. People are saying that AEW has the best in-ring roster, and that's fine. If you prefer WWE style or more storytelling matches, that's absolutely cool to you. But with the way wrestling products are right now, I am not willing to spend 200 quid on a ticket for a show that's just going to be a bunch of clip shows and talking. I want to go there and be amazed with spectacles of matches, which are maybe flips or pure technical matches. If you want my 200 quid for a nosebleed seat, you impress me. You impress me with physicality, not storytelling.
Yeah, I'm with you there, and I think it's interesting. Like, it's also one of those like to each their own on this one, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with either promotion. I think the most fascinating experiment in the world would be to see AEW book the WWE roster for a week and WWE book the AEW roster for a week. Just see what happens. Just
That'd be
flip them.
fascinating.
That'd be the most fascinating experiment in the world right now. I think I would be blown away by it. Really quickly, though, speaking of fascinating experiments, let me read to you guys some fun stuff here. Let's talk about Progress Wrestling really quick. If you haven't checked out Watch Progress Plus, do me a huge favor and check it out because it's one of the most wicked libraries on the entire internet of professional wrestling. And we already know you're a wrestling fan. You're here, you're watching us. Not only that, I'm going to give you a discount. Use code WatchProgress1, 50% off your first month on Demand Progress Plus, the home of Progress, Defy, and many more promotions. This is one of the best things going internet-wise. Keep it locked and loaded. And not only that, stay tuned for one more. Head straight over to the App Store as soon as this is done and download the Etsy app right away. Create the profile. Go give me the follow. Go give everybody the follow. Ben's on there. We're all, it's going to be a blast. Download the Etsy app. It's on the Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store. What do we call it now? The App Store on Apple.
The App Store.
Yeah, the App Store. But then you just head over to upcoming streams. We've got all kinds of good stuff coming up. Check it out. It's an awesome new platform, and we are happy to be a part of it here at WR. But let's keep it rolling here on today's show. Let's talk about one of the biggest artists in the world. This isn't Bugs Bunny. It's Bad Bunny. I'm just saying. He wants one more match. I don't know how much more there is for Bad Bunny, but I will say nobody's taking it as seriously, hardly as him when it comes to the in-ring train stuff. Yes, we can talk Logan Paul. Heck, we already talked about Pat McAfee, so I'm not even going to bring him up. I did that on accident. But Bad Bunny, one more match. Soul, can you even, is that in the cards?
The thing about that is it would only happen at really one or two places, either a show in Puerto Rico or a Mania. And the talent I think that needs to be in this match, I don't know if their availability will include that. And the real one is obviously Damian Priest, because of him and Bad Bunny having the history that they had, tagging at Mania and then the street fight. So it would mean that Damian Priest would either have to have a singles match against Bad Bunny or tag with him. Now, I know Bad Bunny is very, very popular in Puerto Rico and is a very popular music artist. If I'm WWE, my mindset is why not put the tag belts on him and Priest, because that's a marquee moment that's going to generate a lot of views. You could have him at his concerts and showcase the belts, which would be very fun. But like I don't think it's 100% necessary. I do think it's a thing to keep in the back pocket. A break glass in case celebrities can't cameo moment, so you can bring them in. But he's had fun matches. The Miz Morrison tag team match at Mania 37 was fun. I genuinely just don't know in the current landscape of the product with how many wrestling talents you need to showcase. Do you have a spot for a celebrity?
Who does he wrestle? That, to your point, right? Like,
you got.
We saw him work with Priest, who he's buddies with now, right? Like,
I don't know. I mean,
I know who it is.
Dominic.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Dominic.
That's the opponent. It's Dominic Mysterio. Bad Bunny needs to be at the greatest spectacle in WWE at WrestleMania. Bad Bunny is the biggest musician globally. His numbers are like mind-boggling. He is going to garner that same attraction in the United States, in Las Vegas, as he would in Puerto Rico. Maybe not to that magnitude because that was a home affair, but he come out to his music, people will be going ballistic for it.
In Vegas, especially Vegas.
Yeah, man.
Huge.
By the way, his new album
music
just dropped.
Influence. Yep.
New album just dropped. It's fire. I love
Vegas.
Bad Bunny.
That part of it makes sense.
I agree. I don't think that would be a bad idea in a match. The only thing in my worry is that that would mean Priest would have to still be leached onto the Judgment Day, and I think he's really fed up and done with
Yeah,
that at this
keep him
point. And I
away from
don't
them now. After
even
Monday
even
too, that's a good call.
even if you have Dominic maybe come out and say we're not finished with you, and then Bad Bunny comes out and says no, now it's me and you. That's cool. I wouldn't mind that. I just don't want Priest leached onto the Judgment Day like a tumor. Like, come on, he's
Just
gone
break
after
the
this for break the cycle.
I
Break
like
the
this.
cycle.
or Dominic. I know we hate this too, but maybe
Yeah.
Dominic attacks Ray, and then Ray needs vengeance, and it's Bad Bunny who comes to his service.
100%. Okay. Also, we've got a great comment here from Numero One Superfly, which is I can see Bad Bunny versus Dominic Mysterio have Dominic come out in a lowrider while Bad Bunny comes out with a massive truck. Yes, give him a monster truck, big old wheels, have that thing real jacked up,
It'll be
nice and
interesting.
tall truck.
Nobody has had a better entrance than him.
We got
in
another comment here
WWE
though
since
that's
Backlash
interesting,
also.
and this is from an earlier segment, but I did want to address it. He said, this is Derek Mitchell. He said AEW have great in-ring performers. What has that garnered for them? Does AEW want the notoriety for having great wrestlers or putting on a good overall show? Here's what I would say, Derek. We don't work for AEW, neither here nor there, but we do talk about wrestling every day, and they've carved out a specific market space, given the fact that they put on great wrestling shows week in and week out. Whether they're directly competitive with the WWE or not is actually borderline irrelevant. If you look at the Pepsi Coke relationship over the years, if you look at the Adidas and Nike relationship over the years, and the way that that's worked out market space wise from a business perspective alone, they do different things. Generally, when it gets really competitive, they don't try to do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's to each their own. Do you like apple pie or do you like pumpkin on Thanksgiving? Right. And that's your call. Doesn't matter to me. I like them both with ice cream, but that's just me personally. Let's keep it rolling though to the main event. And let's talk about the AEW Dynamite preview. We got all kinds of good stuff going down tonight, Wednesday night. And you know what that means. Monster shout out, Brody Lee, all day long. But our final topic of the evening, afternoon, morning, depends on where you are. But it is, what are you guys most excited for? I'm going to go to you first here, Soul. What are you most excited for tonight? And who do you got winning that women's casino battle royal?
So my main thing is happy. I'm going to see Kenny Omega on TV again against Brian Cage. I've seen people complain about the match, but you know what? Brian Cage has been asking it for like 5 years. Give it to him. Brian Cage is a good worker. I'm excited to see what him and Kenny can do in the ring. So I'm all for that. I think that will be my highlight, as well. Seeing what Ricochet is going to say, I think is going to be really fun to see him and Swerve are building a really nice feud. The women's casino gauntlet match is an interesting one. Mariah Carey, Jesus Christ, I am still hooked up on painkillers. Mariah
Obsessed.
Mariah May is going to be on commentary for this match, which will be enjoyable to see how she offers her critiques to the women's there. But I think with the joys of this, I hope to see a bunch of returns like Sky Blue, Ty Conti, Thunder Rosa, maybe even have Penelope Ford as well in there. Like, I think there's an opportunity to have a lot of showcasing moments for the women in this, and I'm glad they are getting this match type for them. Who wins it? With obviously the match being at Grand Slam Australia, I highly, highly think it's going to be Tony Storm. I've said on the daily before how I would book all this match and all that, so I'm going with Tony Storm. But I'm interested to see what Mr. Tuesday Night Delight Shad's interested in. My fellow sicko. Well, I'm more sick, but like he's still a sicko.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I'm with you. We got another comment here from Derek Mitchell. He said, "Thanks for reading my comment. Sweet potato pie over pumpkin pie, bruh. I am with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it. But besides sweet potato pie, what are you looking forward to, Shad? As Soul mentioned, a lot of great stuff coming up tonight. And I mean, it's going to be a fun one.
Yes, sir. I'm super stoked for Dynamite tonight. Ultimate Carnage. It's gonna live by its name, and we are in Cincinnati, Ohio. Clark Taylor. Besides Skyline Chili and
Skyline Chili.
and besides that Joe Burrow fella and Jamar Chase, the Bengals. There's someone more important than both of those, and that is our AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley, and he's got a high-profile match versus Powerhouse Will Hobbs. That is what I'm most excited for. I love when the hometown hero gets an opportunity to have a marquee match, defend the title as such in this situation. But Powerhouse Hobbs is a force to be reckoned with. This is a guy that I mentioned last week, deserves this moment, bro. He's someone that is a special, remarkable talent, and we need to continue to book him as such. But Jon Moxley, I want to say this, and I want to preface this before, because there is a high amount of criticism towards Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. I think all of that is asinine. I think everything the Death Riders are doing currently in AEW is one of the more compelling storylines in pro wrestling. I think the faction works. I absolutely love the dynamic of them versus AEW trying to, right the wrongs of what they view the image of what this company is and not really giving a damn about anything. Very NWO-esque in a different way. And I think Jon Moxley is just absolutely killing it. I think he deserves a lot more credit. In the world of we show so much love to a person like Roman Reigns and Seth, his former counterparts of the Shield, Moxley has really been the heart of a lot of pro wrestling, and it's been outside of WWE, but he's kept, pro wrestling pumping. He's been pumping the blood in the veins of what's happening in AEW. So give Moxley his credit and love. That's going to be box office. Now, Women's Casino Battle Royal. I like cards. I like jokers. I like the Joker card a lot. I like an opportunity for us to hold up. Put it back on the single.
Sorry, full screen.
Oh no, he's kicking.
Now everyone is picking that rookie Toni Storm, and she might win it. She very well might win it. But I'm gonna go in a different direction. When Soul zigs, I'm gonna zag. I say we get a debut tonight. I say we get a new wrestler, a new signing in the AEW tonight. I am going off on the limb, and I'm probably wrong, but if I'm right, damn it, I'm running to the bank with it. Debuting tonight, winning in Cincinnati, Ohio, Indy Hartwell will win the Casino Battle Royal and punch her ticket in her home country in Australia against Mariah May.
I didn't think about that. He's actually kind of smart.
I didn't even consider that, Shoddy. I'm so sorry for the camera cut. That's my fault.
You hurt my stitches with how
you
good
just
that
broke
might
me.
be.
I had all kinds of good things to say to follow that, but I think you're right.
Hey, man.
Damn you, Shad.
Hey, man.
I mean, that hot new upstart, like you said, Toni Storm, rookie of the year for sure.
For sure.
But obviously it's amazing to see her finally make it to, achieve her dream and wrestle in AEW. But Toni Storm, Indy Hartwell, I don't know, man, because it is Australia, like you said, and it makes perfect sense.
The interesting thing, so I'll quickly say on Shad's thing that I think is very interesting because it'd be very telling, if they really want to take the belt off Mariah May that quickly to put it onto Toni Storm. If it's Indy Hartwell, I could see that being more of a chase situation, and I said that AEW need more chase situations with their titles, as well. They need more baby faces, and 100%. If they add Indy Hartwell to their roster, it's a good addition because they need more. They essentially do need more women wrestlers on their brand, and I know people say, "Well, they have so many, and only giving them limited time," and that is true. But I also feel like their women's division has had a lot more injuries than wrestlers being around for the scene. That's just the nature of the business. Injuries do happen. So somebody with Indy who is obviously A, relatively young, and B, does have a bit of a popular following for time in WWE, she would be a great addition and a great marquee name for the country of Australia. From somebody, think about this as well. Imagine if you're somebody who was on the kickoff show for your Australian show in the WWE, and then you're in a women's title picture for when you go to the other company in your own country. That's like a bit of a
be pretty cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
And
I think Indy was pretty dang good too in NXT. She didn't get enough credit.
And I want to preface that, right? Because I'm looking at somebody like Ricochet. Not even Ricochet. Scratch Ricochet. let's talk about 2.0 for a second, right? These are guys who were in NXT prior for it. Showed a lot of charisma, showed a lot of talent. Indy Hartwell to me is better than what they've done in NXT, but she's someone that did a lot of good in NXT. Shows that she can do character work with the whole Dexter Lumis stuff. Is a very good in-ring wrestler, and like Soul said, young, 26 years old, 27 years old. The woman's got a lot of time and hasn't even hit her prime yet. That would be a slam dunk signing, not for the intermediate, but also for the future of AEW. And who knows, just like Ricochet, a fresh paint in a new company could definitely revive her and make her a bigger star than where she was before.
No doubt about it. I will say before we go home here today, because we are running low on time, I have one last little rant that I want to get out. And it involves Skyline Chili. Obviously, AEW is headed to Cincinnati. And here's the scoop is I don't understand how ground beef cooked in the water from the bottom of your Christmas tree over pasta is a signature dish. And we need to stop it with Skyline Chili. It's not good. It's never been good. And it's basically just pine straw meat sauce over spaghetti. It makes no sense. I don't understand where that comes from. It tastes very Christmassy. I got to give them that. But stop it. Cincinnati is a great town. We got to find a new dish. We have to find a new dish when it comes to this. I'd love to give Moxley credit. Obviously, Soul can't even handle it either when it comes to the. Sorry for the early camera cut there.
But that's why his camera went off.
That does bring us to the end of the show, my friends. Give us a thumbs up and like and subscribe if you haven't already. It definitely helps us. It especially helps Soul as he recovers from surgery. So make sure you definitely like and subscribe. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. It's awesome. We will see y'all tomorrow. Yes, Eric, thank you very much. It is 100%. Been saying it for years. You would think it's the signature dish of the town. You're like, I got to get some Skyline. No, you don't.
That's why the Bengals
skip it. Just go get regular spaghetti somewhere, and it's the same gig with more flavor. It doesn't taste like you're eating a pine cone. Either way, that is the end of the show for us here at WR. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Thank you so much. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. That's Thursday. That's going to be, of course, noon Pacific, 3 in the East.
Same crew, too.
Same exact crew, 3 in the East, 8 o'clock in the UK, and, of course, 9 a.m. for my friends in Hawaii. And we will talk to y'all soon.
Shaka, bruh.